Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the stocks that were in play today. Okay, first up, let's take a look at WAC. This was a really nice follow-through after confirming the bullish reversal pattern yesterday. If you look down here at the chart, the bullish Haremy cross reversal pattern formed on Friday, and then that pattern was confirmed yesterday with the close above EMA4 resistance. That's the pink line here. That was the bull signal. There was huge follow through today. It busted through the EMAs. It broke through middle Bollinger Band resistance here at 50, and then it ended up running all the way up to our target intraday, which was the 50-day simple moving average at 72, and this red descending resistance line. Notice how that's been the top of the channel. So the top of the channel was tested today, and the share price did pull back. So going forward, that is the key level to break. It needs to break above the 70, 72 resistance level and turn the level into support to head higher. If that happens, then the 100-day simple moving average at 96 will be the next target. If it fails to break the 70 resistance zone, you could see a pullback to see the middle Bollinger Band tested. That would be the key level to hold. If you look at the past two previous closes above the middle Bollinger Band, after trading below, it closed above and it failed to hold that level and pulled back. Closed above the middle Bollinger Band end of July, failed to hold that level. Closed another day above, but then it failed to hold at the start of August and it pulled back for the long downtrend. So we are keeping an eye out for a bullish change in trend, but if history repeats, WAC is going to have a hard time turning the middle Bollinger Band into support. If there is a break above this red descending resistance line, that will be a bullish change in trend, and that will signal more upside potential. Okay, so take a look at PSAR here. The green dots are now below the candles. There was a giant volume spike today, huge volume behind the move. Bullish crossover on MACD on the 12, 26, and 9 time frame today, and there was a bullish crossover last week on the 8, 13, and 5. These are all indicators that a new uptrend could be starting. There was a bullish crossover up here on ADX with plus DI crossing minus DI and ADX to the upside. A positive is RSI up here at 55. It broke above 50. Notice that on the previous two spikes where it topped out at the 50-day simple moving average in June and in August, it failed to break 50 on each occasion. And so today, with the close at 55, this is the highest close for RSI since you have to go almost off the chart. It's back here in May. So going forward, if RSI stays above 50, that will be a sign the chart is strong, and there is more room to run until the 70 overbought level. Fasto is hitting 78. It has had a tough time staying above 80 on the Fasto. Okay, so let's take a look at RTNB. This stock was the big runner today. It closed up 136%. It was a nice move on RSI above the 30 oversold line. Same thing with Fasto. It broke above the 20 oversold line. Bulls want to see both of those back above 50. Okay, there's a start of a bullish crossover on ADX with plus DI starting to cross ADX to the upside. All these are signals of the reversal that is taking place along with this PSAR bull flip. Notice the green dots had been above the candles during the downtrend, and they finally flipped below the candles today when the share price broke the PSAR level, which was from yesterday. So the move today was very strong. There was a close above EMA 13 resistance, and this is similar to the WAC chart, where this upper candle, the upper wick on today's candle came up and it hit our resistance zone, which was the middle Bollinger Band. It didn't quite get there, but it hit that level. That's going to be the key level to break. It needs to get above 4 and turn that level into support to head higher. If that happens, then the 50-day simple moving average and the 100-day simple moving average up here around 635 are going to be the next target. But going forward, it has to get back above the middle Bollinger Band. Stocks in a downtrend trade below, form candles below the middle Bollinger Band. You can see here on July 11th, middle Bollinger Band support broke, and that signaled the start of this long downtrend. So it has to get back above the middle Bollinger Band for a new uptrend to begin. If it fails to break that level, you could see some consolidation. The big level to hold tomorrow is EMA 13 at 271. If you see the share price drop below that level, that will be your signal that the run is cooling down. There was big volume behind the move today, and a bullish crossover yesterday on the 8, 13, and 5 MACD time frame. Bulls want to see that 12, 26, and 9 cross over. If you've been following the action on stock twits, you'll know that the 300 simple moving average on the 15-minute chart currently at 278. That's this blue line here. That was the really big level to break and to turn into support. That did happen today at 11:45, and then the candles did stay above that level going into the close. So tomorrow, that is going to be the big level to hold. Yeah, it looks like this needs to actually be updated. But yeah, so going forward tomorrow, that's going to be your big. Yeah, I should have updated this beforehand, but the candles need to stay above the 300 simple moving average and above the middle Bollinger Band. The close here at 298. That does put the candles above both levels, and so basically, if you see a break below the blue line and below the dotted purple line here, the middle Bollinger Band, that would be a signal the run is cooling down, and you could see a drop all the way down here to the 50 and 200 simple moving averages down here around 176. That would be the next big support level, the 50 simple moving average. So yeah, so it's really important that the candles stay above that middle Bollinger Band and 300 simple moving average tomorrow. That will be your clue that it's cooling down if support breaks. But yeah, really nice move. Check out the huge volume behind the move. That is always bullish. Yeah, it did close strong, so that is positive. We'll see if it can keep pushing through. This is a multi-day run, and the middle Bollinger Band is the top of the bearish downtrending channel that RTNB is currently trading in. Okay, so take a look at OPXA. This chart is heating up with the RSI now above 50. You've got Fasto above 80. It had this nice bounce down here yesterday off the bottom of the chart. It bounced off the 100-day simple moving average at 724, and then yesterday it closed right at the 50-day simple moving average at 80, and it did temporarily break the 200-day simple moving average at 82. Both those levels broke today, along with the middle Bollinger Band at 855. And so the close above all three of those major resistance levels and the EMAs 4, 8, and 13 was very bullish. So now it looks like OPXA could be trying to start a new uptrend. It did close above the closing price here on the 19th of July. Now the key level to break here is the 11th, the close on the 11th in July. We'll basically call that a penny. It's at like about $1.01. So it's got, the dollar land level is the next big level to break. If it can close above that level and gets moving, you could the next big resistance levels all the way up here at about 117. So and then a close above the closing price here on the first trading day of July, that would be the big signal that there's more upside potential, and then we would start talking about the 300-day simple moving average at about 180 right now. But first things first, it has to break that dollar land level. On a pullback, it is hitting the upper Bollinger Band. If it does pull back, it is on a 2-day run. You want to see that middle Bollinger Band turn into support if you are a bull. Look what happened last time. It broke above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average after trading below. That signaled the start of an uptrend or a big push higher. So it looks like the chart is starting to heat back up. If you look at volume, volume was still light today, but it was the largest volume day since the 19th of July. There was a bullish crossover down here on the 8, 13, and 5 MACD time frame, and the 12, 26, 9 is pinched. Okay, so take a look at SING. This stock has been performing really well. It's in a very strong uptrend right now. It closed up 27%. It's at 66 on RSI, so it still has room to run till the oversold level. You can't really look at Fasto right now. This giant fat finger on August 10th, this long upper wick, that was a single trade where somebody accidentally hit 42 cents as opposed to 0.42 cents, and so that's thrown some of the indicators off. Basically, SING has been cruising in this uptrend since back here on the 26th of July when there's a close above the middle Bollinger Band. That level has been holding the entire time. That's the dotted purple line currently at 5 cents. You can see here the green ascending support line is the bottom of the channel. The red ascending resistance line is the top of the channel. That's currently putting the top of this channel around, it's pushing now around 16 cents. That is the next target. If it can break two key levels, the next big level to break is going to be the August 14th close. So that's a huge level to break. It's the biggest, the most recent high close level on this chart, recent high close. So it's going to be the big one. If it can close above 10, that's going to signal much more upside potential. And then 12, the high of day on the 14th, will be that big level to break. Once it's above both of those levels, it will not have as much overhead resistance. So we'll have to see how the share price can respond. It could keep this strong uptrend going. It's all dependent on holding this middle Bollinger Band. As long as that's holding, the signal is to keep riding if you are a swing trader. Basically, you've got a nice volume spike here after a declining volume pattern, and so that's exactly what bulls want to see. So notice how today's volume was larger than the previous two volume bars. So that this is all pointing towards that 10 target. So that's our big level. If it can close above that, then we'll be talking about 12 and possibly higher. Okay, so take a look at the SING weekly chart. And so what we're looking for on this chart, each candle is 1 week of trading. If you look at the February, third week of February close here, this is the big level to break. It's right about 8 cents. It's just a little over 8 cents. And if it can close above that level for the week, that would be extremely bullish. Then you're talking about this 12 level on deck. There's not, if you look here, I mean, this is a long-term chart. There's not a lot of overhead resistance. We're going to have to go back and look at, 2014, 2015 levels to find the next resistance. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on SING here for close above 8. That would be very bullish. Notice how there's been big volume behind the move. You've got a bullish crossover down here on MACD recently. With the it's just a very strong. The 300-week simple moving average here at 0.05 is the big level to hold. It's been turning that level into support. As long as that's holding, SING is trading above all the moving averages on this chart. You've got the 200, the 100, the 50, the 20, which is the middle Bollinger Band, EMA's 13.8, the 300-day simple or 300-week simple moving average, and EMA 4. And so it's riding EMA 4 support higher above all the moving averages. This is as bullish as it gets. All it has to do is break above resistance, and this thing could keep running higher. Remember, they are coming. They're hitting both angles. They're hitting the marijuana industry, and they're hitting the cryptocurrency industry at the same time. So they're firing on all cylinders here with their weed coin that they have coming out. And this has got a lot of steam right now. This is the 15-minute chart we were working on in the chat. Notice that there was this declining resistance line. It was forming a descending triangle here, and it did close above the descending resistance line at the close today. And so that is bullish, signaling more upside potential. You want to see a break above this 8.6 level. That was the high close. If it can close and get above that level, that's going to signal 10 is on deck. If it fails to hold this middle Bollinger Band at 8.3, you could see a drop down to 8 cents. 8 cents is the big level to hold. That's the lower Bollinger Band on this chart. If that breaks, then you've got a potential drop all the way down to the 50 and 200 down at 7.5. So yeah, so keep an eye on SING. Another Bitcoin penny stock that we follow is BTSC. It is still in the bull zone on RSI at 56. You want to see Fasto get back above 50. This consolidated after hitting the 14 resistance zone, where it formed a double top with back here in June. Okay, so there was a double top, and then it pulled back, and it's been holding support, and it bounced nicely off of EMA 13, just like BTCS. And so it's got this nice pattern going. It closed back above EMA 4. What we're looking for now is a close above this closing price here on the 16th. If it can close above that level, that would be the signal that 14 is back on deck. So you want to see a close above this white candle here, and if that happens, then that's going to be the signal of more upside potential. That's just above 10.5, and so it's set up to test that level tomorrow. Candles forming above that, that's going to be putting, it has to get through the upper Bollinger Band at 12.4, but that puts this high close on deck again. And once it gets back above 14.5, that's the signal that's ready to break out higher. As long as this 50-day simple moving average and middle Bollinger Band down here in this 8 zone are holding, the uptrend is intact and BTSC is still in play. Take a look here at BITCF. Okay, so they you know, had this big valuation, and it's just not slowing down. It's here at 63 on RSI. You've got Fasto now ready to break back above 50. So bulls want to see that back above the 50 level. That'd be a signal that the chart is strong again, and it's still very strong. I mean, the candles are above the middle Bollinger Band, which is all the way down here at 93. So there's still a strong uptrend. Notice once again it held EMA 13 support. These Bitcoin stocks have been bouncing off of that level, so take note. EMA 13 is a really important moving average for timing your bounce entry, and so that's at 127 on this chart. You know, that has been holding. It's been the reload level. You know, 120 was the reload level on this. If you notice that the lower wick did come down here and test that middle Bollinger Band zone. Always shoot for that middle Bollinger Band if you can get it. It doesn't always pull back to that level. Sometimes EMA 13 holds like the Bitcoin stocks have been. And this is similar to the last chart we were looking at. It's got this key level on the 16th of August. If it can break that level, then you could see, you know, the next high close is all the way up here at 270. And so this is it closed right at high close resistance, basically at 170. It can break above that, then you're talking about a potential push back above the twos. So we'll see, you know, if they're going to keep this thing going. You know, it does have a lofty valuation, but the people that are you know, in control of the stock are taking it higher. So all we do is you know, if you're a retail trader, you're just along for the ride. All you do is follow the charts. You can't, you know, a lot of times you can't try to figure it out. If you spend too much time trying to figure it out, you will have missed the move. So if you follow the charts and not the chatter, you should be able to keep finding the pot of gold and avoiding danger. Okay, so BTCS here is at 59 in the 50 to 70 bull zone. It is at 33 on RSI. That needs to heat up. It's been holding the EMA 13 as well. Notice how it bounced off of this support zone today at 21. You want to see that level hold. The 300-day simple moving average has been dropping fast. It's only down at 14. And so for this stock to remain in play, it's got to stay above the middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line at 16. You know, the chart is wound tight right now. Basically, it's about this closing price here once again on the 16th at about what is that, 25 and a half. If it can get above this price, you know, you've got it could run back up into the 30s and possibly into the 40s. So yeah, so this is once again, it's consolidating. It still has good volume. It's still in play. It needs to bust through that 25 resistance zone, and it could make a run back into those 30s and possibly higher. Okay, so take a look at some of these, a couple of these marijuana sector stocks here. AMMJ has been on a tear. We keep alerting it, and it keeps heading higher. It's super frothy right now. You know, you've got the Fasto all the way up, or RSI all the way up here at 82. You got Fasto at 94. You know, it's very overbought right now. It's on a 5-day run. If you look down here, you can see the volume bars. I'm showing you this chart, and I know it's difficult to see, but this is showing you where this is headed and what's happening on the more longer term view. This is basically retracing back to this November high close, which is right around $2, and so you can see it came down. It made a bottom down here in the 30s, around 35, and then it's been heading higher ever since. And this is what we call filling the jar. It's filling the jar back up, breaking resistance levels. So it broke. When it broke, you know, we put out alerts on this break, and it just kept heading higher. But it broke above this August high close, which is the circle here, last week, and then it just kept moving higher and higher. And today it pushed out higher above this February high close, and then it closed right at December high close, which is this top of this white candle right here. So it closed right at that resistance level. Next up is November high close. So or not November high close, but this closing price in November at about 125. So 125 is the next key level to break. You know, basically you just want to see this uptrend continue if you're a bull. I mean, it's formed a lot of white candles in a row, and it's pushing hard right now. What you want to see now that it's above $1 is you want to see the $1 level hold. That with EMA 4, which is the pink line here currently at 97. A close below EMA4 will be the signal the chart's cooling down and it's likely to consolidate, and that's when you look for a reload lower. As long as EMA4 supports holding, the signal is to keep riding. Just keep in mind it is frothy and currently at overbought levels. Okay, look at AGTK here. This stock had a pullback. And then this is the last AGTK chart, and it filled the jar, how we were just talking about filling the jar, and it filled it back up to this April level. Notice how the share price dropped down, formed a base, it came back up to the level where it broke down at, and it filled the jar. Okay, so the next level to fill to is up here all the way back in February, the February high close, all the way up here around 34 cents or 0.034. And so what it needs to do to make that happen is it needs to break through this 200-day simple moving average at 0.022. That's the red line. It bounced nicely off of the 300-day simple moving average. That's the blue line there at 0.018. Bulls want to see that level hold. It's back above EMA4. The chart is super strong. A close back above the 200-day simple moving average, and then the closing, this red horizontal resistance line. Basically, we should just move this up to the closing price here. This recent high close just at about 0.023. If you see a close above that, that should be a signal it's ready to run back to the threes. Okay, now let's take a look at HEMP. Okay, this stock, this is the last chart that we posted. It had this nice move, and then it ran up to the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages, the red and blue lines, and it pulled back. It's found support down here at the 100-day simple moving average and the 100-day simple moving average currently. It bounced down here off of the 50-day simple moving average, so that was nice. We were looking for a bounce off that level. It held, and notice how it's holding the middle Bollinger Band, that dotted purple line, and heading higher. So what we want to see is we're looking for a break above 0.028 first, and then the big level 0.030. That's the huge level on this chart. Once it gets above the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages, that'll be a signal that hemp is ready to head higher. If for some reason it ends up breaking middle Bollinger Band 100-day simple moving average support, that would be a red flag, and you'd have this 50-day simple moving average back on deck. Bulls do not want to see this downtrend break. If candles start forming below the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average, that's a signal the chart is busted, and it will be a risk to hold. Currently, it's been consolidating, but it's still in an uptrend, but it's riding that fine line. It has to hold support here. So keep an eye on HEMP. And then one more to finish up with is SOUPQ. This was the big winner today. If you look down here, it closed up 1,400%. It was up quite a bit more than that today. As you can see, it hit all the way up here at 0.025. We put out alerts that the 2 zone was going to be the big level to break. It came up and hit it. You can see here on this chart where the 2 zone was a big resistance level. It hit that and pulled back. And so tomorrow, it's got to get above the 2s in order to head higher. We'll see how far they want to take this. This could be it for it, and it could pull back. If you look at a longer term chart here, you can see the upside potential. This is we put out an alert on it. This is like some kind of crazy OTC drama, hostile takeover type play. It looked like somebody coming in and claiming they have 51% ownership of the company, but apparently the company is denying that. You can read the 8K filing today. Don't want to get into that. We're just more focused on the technical analysis. Okay, so this is overbought right now on RSI at 86, of course being up 1,400%, but keep an eye on it. We'll see how far it can go. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. Please check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com for more charts and technical analysis.